Guys, this one hurts. The entire music industry woke up today to heartbreaking news that left fans speechless and emotional. The legendary voice of neo-soul, the man behind timeless hits that redefined R&B in the 90s and 2000s, D'Angelo, is gone. Yes, you heard that right. The Grammy-winning artist, known for his smooth yet raspy voice and deep soulful presence, has passed away at just 51 years old. According to official family reports, D'Angelo lost his brave battle with cancer, a fight that he kept extremely private. His family called him a shining star of their lives, whose light will deeply be missed. It's a tough pill to swallow. For many fans, this isn't just another celebrity headline, it's the loss of a cultural icon. D'Angelo wasn't just a singer. He was a movement. A vibe. His artistry in the late 90s helped define what we now call neo-soul. From brown sugar to voodoo, D'Angelo's music wasn't just sound, it was soul therapy. His voice could melt the hardest hearts. His songs could make you fall in love, heal from heartbreak, and rediscover yourself all at once. And here's what's truly surprising, most of the world didn't even know he was sick. Industry insiders are now revealing that D'Angelo had been battling cancer for some time, but he wanted to keep his illness out of the public eye. Even some of his close friends in music said they were unaware of how serious things had gotten. But those who knew him well say that's exactly who he was, private, grounded, deeply spiritual, and focused on his craft rather than fame. As the tributes pour in across social media, it's clear that D'Angelo's death has left a huge void in the music community. His sound inspired a whole generation of artists, from John Legend to Frank Ocean, and even The Weeknd, all of whom owe a part of their musical DNA to D'Angelo's influence. Before we move on, if you grew up listening to Untitled, How Does It Feel, or Lady, drop a broken heart emoji in the comments below. And hey, if you love classic R&B stories and celebrity updates like this one, make sure you subscribe to CelebRiot and turn on the bell icon, because we've got more heartfelt stories coming your way. Now let's go deeper into who D'Angelo really was, and how a teenage dream became one of R&B's greatest legacies. Michael Eugene Archer, better known as D'Angelo, wasn't born into fame. His story starts humbly in Richmond, Virginia, where music was more than just a sound, it was survival. D'Angelo grew up surrounded by gospel choirs, church rhythms, and deep Southern soul. As a teenager, he dropped out of school, not out of rebellion, but out of passion. He knew that music was his calling. By his late teens, he was already performing in small clubs, writing, and dreaming big. Then came 1995, the year that changed everything. His debut album, Brown Sugar, hit the world like a tidal wave. It wasn't just another R&B album, it was the birth of neo-soul. With songs like Cruisin', Lady, and the title track Brown Sugar, D'Angelo brought sensuality, honesty, and groove back to the genre. The world took notice fast. His album went platinum, and critics praised him as the Marvin Gaye of the modern era. His deep, smoky vocals and smooth instrumentation made everyone stop and listen. But fame came with its shadows. D'Angelo was never about image, he was about art. Yet, his incredible looks and raw presence in his videos made him an instant sex symbol. Especially after the release of his 2000 single Untitled, How Does It Feel, which became one of the most talked about videos in music history. The video, featuring a shirtless D'Angelo singing directly to the camera, was intended to express vulnerability, but instead, it skyrocketed his image as a heartthrob. Suddenly, everyone was talking about his body instead of his artistry. And that, according to those close to him, deeply affected him. He was about the music, one insider said. Not about being that guy in the video. But the fame machine had other plans. It's believed that this intense public attention, combined with industry pressure, pushed D'Angelo to step back from the spotlight. He became more private, more reclusive, focusing on his personal growth and inner peace rather than chasing hits. If you're watching right now and wondering, what could push a superstar at his peak to disappear from the charts, stick around. Because in the next section, we'll reveal the secret battle D'Angelo was fighting long before cancer entered the picture. And don't forget, hit that like button if you believe real music like D'Angelo's should never fade away. Behind the smooth voice and soulful smile, D'Angelo was battling more than the public could ever imagine. After the success of Voodoo, the fame, pressure, and unwanted spotlight began taking a toll on his mental health. Those close to him describe a man who felt torn between wanting to share his music and needing to protect his soul. He wanted to be known for his art, not his abs. And that disconnect slowly pulled him away from the public eye. Years later, D'Angelo admitted that he needed to find himself again. The 2000s saw him taking long breaks, going through personal challenges, and even facing legal troubles. But even during the darkest times, he never stopped writing. Never stopped composing. Music was his lifeline. Fast forward to recent years, D'Angelo began making quiet appearances again. His 2014 comeback album, Black Messiah, reminded the world of his genius. Critics called it a masterclass in modern soul. Fans celebrated his return. It felt like he was ready to take the stage again, until health problems began to resurface. According to close sources, D'Angelo had undergone surgery earlier this year and was scheduled to headline the Philadelphia Roots picnic in May. But sadly, he had to cancel, citing an unforeseen delay from a previous surgery. At the time, no one knew the true reason. His team said it was doctor's orders, and that he was focusing on recovery while working on new music. Now we know, those complications were part of his ongoing cancer battle. Even during treatment, he never stopped thinking about music. His family revealed that D'Angelo was recording privately, determined to leave behind one final project for his fans. A longtime producer friend said, he was a warrior. Even when he was too weak to sing, he'd hum melodies, record ideas. Music was his soul's way of staying alive. It's hard not to feel emotional thinking about that. The idea that one of the greatest voices of our time was silently fighting for his life, while still creating art for us, shows the true spirit of a legend. If you're still here watching, take a second and type legend in the chat to honor D'Angelo's memory. And please, subscribe if you haven't already, because CelebRiot is where we keep these voices alive, even when the world forgets. Next, let's talk about the love, the family, and the loss that surrounded D'Angelo's final months. D'Angelo wasn't just an artist, he was also a father and a son. He leaves behind 2 sons and a daughter, each carrying a piece of his legacy forward. The mother of his first son was none other than Grammy-nominated singer-songwriter Angie Stone, another powerhouse voice in R&B. Together, they created not just music, but memories. Their relationship was full of creativity, passion, and the shared love for soul. But tragedy struck earlier this year when Angie Stone passed away in a devastating car accident in Alabama. Her van overturned on a Montgomery highway in March, leaving fans stunned. Losing her was already a deep wound for D'Angelo, and those close to him say her passing broke him emotionally. To think that just months later, the world would lose D'Angelo too, it's almost unbearable. Despite his struggles, his family describes him as deeply spiritual, a man of peace who found meaning in his children and music. His family released a statement saying, "We are eternally grateful for his legacy and the extraordinary music he was able to produce. His light will forever shine in the songs he gave us." Even as they requested privacy, they asked fans to celebrate his life, not just mourn it. And maybe that's the best way to honor him, by turning on his records, feeling every note, every emotion, every ounce of soul he poured into his art. If you ever listened to Brown Sugar, you know, it wasn't just a song. It was D'Angelo speaking to us. So tonight, play that song. Let it remind you of the power of real music. And before we move to our final section, take 1 second, hit that like button, and subscribe to CelebRiot to keep his memory alive. Because here, we don't just report, we remember. As the world continues to mourn, fans everywhere are revisiting D'Angelo's catalog, rediscovering why his music touched so many hearts. From Brown Sugar to Black Messiah, his sound remains timeless. His art wasn't about fame, it was about feeling. D'Angelo could make you dance, cry, and think, sometimes all in one verse. His legacy isn't defined by charts or awards, though he did win 4 Grammys, including Best R&B Album and Best Male R&B Vocal Performance for Untitled. His real legacy lies in the artists he inspired and the millions of listeners who found healing in his voice. Even after his passing, his influence continues to shape R&B, hip-hop, and soul. His style inspired today's stars, from Anderson .Paak to SZA, who cite him as one of the reasons they fell in love with music. And though D'Angelo may be gone, his message remains: real music never dies. To every fan watching this, remember that behind every song, every lyric, was a man who gave everything he had to his art. D'Angelo's story reminds us that life is fragile, fame is fleeting, but soul is eternal. Before you go, take a deep breath, close your eyes, and remember his words, his sound, his spirit. Because somewhere, beyond the pain, beyond the spotlight, the music still plays. Rest in peace, D'Angelo. Your voice may have gone silent, but your soul will sing forever. Musical note. And guys, if you want more heartfelt stories like this, subscribe to CelebRiot, hit the bell, and let's keep celebrating the legends who made music magical.